Thanks a lot. Welcome to lesson number 20, question mark. Are we that far along? But as of yesterday, we got a lot of important work done. For example, we were able to manage raising the stock price after we do a sale. And what we did is we embedded a price history, which is in the prior video. And now we're kind of halfway through the problem where we're saying once a buyer makes his or her portfolio, sell off the stocks which have gone up in value, which is kind of interesting because with 100,000 buyers, some of the buyers get first dibs on the IPOs, the early ones. And then some of those IPOs actually get sold out and the IPO quantity goes down. And some others may come online and say, oh, I want more of this particular stock. But there's no IPO, so they actually have to go to the for sale market to buy from other people. And that's precisely how you make money in a stock market, is when you are selling at the right price and somebody else is willing to pay that price and buy it off of you. But you don't want to put something up for sale until you know that the market price is higher than what you bought it for, right? Or you are willing to sell at the price that it's in the market for the purpose of cash or whatever reason. Offset other gains. So build random portfolio is good in that we're going and making a portfolio, but then we're saying, we're adding the price, the price history, and we've proven that through this system out right here. But then we're kind of asking the question, should we sell stuff off here? And so this is the portfolio construction moment. So we definitely shouldn't sell off right here within the bracket. And probably build random portfolio, that's fine. But we're really just populating this buyer's portfolio. So we're adding it to his or her portfolio right here. So we're moving the transaction to the portfolio. So we can actually leave build random portfolio having established the portfolio's portfolio right here. So in many ways, when we're looking at Maynard, this is fine. This is done. So if you want to do a sell off your winners, you could probably do something along these lines. B dot sell off winners. And let's just kind of fool around with that. If we wanted to do this, we could do that. And let's just take a look at the considerations of that. Why don't we create that method inside of buyer? So we're at the bottom of buyer here, where we're saying sell off your winners. So in order to do this, we'd kind of want to grab hold of the portfolio. And we'd want to say, for each transaction inside of the portfolio that you currently have, if the price of your holding is less than the current market price, take your holding in your transaction rather, and then put it into the for sale market. So there's a couple of things that you might want to get. You actually might want to get the current value of the market, because frankly the market is where the current pricing index is, and a market really has all the current, and so maybe you want to send it the market, which takes additional time, but you have to take that time somewhere. So for that transaction in the portfolio, if for example T dot price is less than well, what's also interesting is you need to actually grab hold of the stock. And so first you need to iterate the market. To do that, iterate the market for the symbol in the transaction. So for example, for every stock inside that market, and that's an array list of stocks, and then this little rule is going to be in there somewhere, but a little ways down. Okay, if t.symbol equals s.symbol, then you do the evaluation of the price. Then you do your little price comparison. Let's try to, sometimes not having too many spaces makes for greater readability. And if the price of your transaction is less than the price in the marketplace, in other words, if your holding is more valuable now, then go ahead and take the market and place your transaction inside of that for sale market. The market has a for sale market that you guys already built, right? Remember that? And it's kind of fallen into place, and we'll see. You know, it might not work. You know, we'll need to fix it, but you know, we've pulled ourselves out of every problem thus far. So let's just give it a try. So if your transaction is ready to be put on the market, go market.forSaleMarket.add that transaction. That's some pretty efficient work right there. And I'm not really, you're probably following. You're probably not even, you're probably nonplussed. You're probably like, whatever, yeah, sure. But we've kind of aligned us so that we could make that kind of, you know, else, you know, if it doesn't match, then just go, sorry. Not for sale right now. And then we could say print line, just put up transaction for sale. And then we could go in and study it a little bit more, because one other thing that we had to do here, and my students kind of reminded me about this, is when I actually make my, when I build my random portfolio, I actually want to take the buyer's name and set it to the, set its name within the transaction. So it's kind of like a big old piece of firewood, and I'm putting the firewood on the fire, and the fire is the for sale market. I'm just taking the whole darn thing and putting it up there. Lickety split, very simple. So, you know, let's go back to Maynor. What's real though is that the market actually needs to be passed back. So you may have changed the market that you passed the buyer class, but we actually need to set the main market right here. This is the main market that matters. You also need to set this market equivalent to the market that you just adjusted. So you need to change the return, you know, the method signature here such that it returns a market. And this is public market. And the only complaint it has is it says, hey, you have to return something there. And that's fine by me for it to return market. And there, that's just a perfect little method. It just kind of fits right in there. And so you've kind of adjusted the market right here. And this market is defined above this feature right here. So you can access it outside the scope of the for loop. But this is beginning to look like kind of a nice little algorithm. I mean, at this point, you guys can probably use the word algorithm. and I joke because, you know, my mother-in-law and my mom are exquisite cooks, and for what I would call an algorithm for programming, they would call a recipe in all things culinary, in cooking, right? That an algorithm is really just it's a recipe, and if you were to enact the recipe, the same thing would happen every time. It's reliable. It's proven. It's a proven solution. Now, what's interesting here is that you guys definitely enact a lot of algorithms because you execute some of these algorithms hundreds of thousands of times, you know, during one instance of your app. So that's a fun definition of algorithms. So I'm just kind of, you know, blowing some smoke right here. But what I would also say is I'd say the market is now equal to the result of your winter sell-off, because you actually change the contour of the market because you added something for the for sale market. So if you were to say, well, okay, look, programming, the best you can do as a programmer is to create an experiment and to learn from your experiment. You know, and we'd say, well, we're doing an app right now, but we just want to learn if we're doing the right thing, if we're on the right track. So can we set up an experiment that would tell us whether we're on the right track? And probably if we were to add, you know, a stock to the for sale market, probably we would be able to prove it. And so this is fine that this is happening. So why don't we say at the very end of this buyer process, why don't we say for every transaction inside of the market.m, or rather the for sale market, system.out print line transaction t dot buyer name t dot number stock purchased, right? Sounds familiar? Of t dot symbol at symbol $. Sorry, this is all, probably this should be justified. Holds a certain number of a certain stock at a certain price. T dot price, just for show off. And so we're going to sort of iterate this stuff for sale. Now later we're going to say, well, look, during the build random portfolio process, probably if a symbol is at IPO 0, then probably you should say, sorry, IPO 0, look in the for sale market for that symbol. And so there's two mechanisms. One is there are people accumulating stocks, and then two, other people are buying from others. So it's beginning to resemble the complexity of a live market. You know, it's beginning to. So let's just kind of run it. Let's see, you know, what happens. Take a little bit of responsibility for what's happening. Not create utter chaos. And let's see if that's ready, if Mainer is ready to run. Okay, so that's interesting. I wonder what that's all about. So Mainer buyer 151 is having some trouble. Just put a transaction up for sale. So something may have crashed around there. And then let's go to line 18. And so something about sell-off winners is giving us some trouble. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and run away a little bit and see. I even forget where the system out for this is coming from, so I need to retrace my steps a little bit, figure out where I'm going wrong. And I'm going to come back and provide some value in a sec. So yeah, see you in a minute. Don't forget to subscribe.